What's up, y'all? I hope y'all can hear me good, okay? I hope, okay? It's your girl, Mickey Truth, aka the Queen of Paperwork. In the longer awaited video, y'all have been asking me to speak on the 1098 snitching allegations. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't do it to the liking of my viewers who are like, yo, you're selective with it, okay? Normally you would have been on it. So here we are. So before we get into it, y'all already know what we got to start this thing off at. Yo, hookah, what it do?
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Hookah Anonymous, and you are now rocking with Mickey Truth. She live up to her name, not the fame. So make sure y'all subscribe to her channel and stay updated on what's real. Bye.
Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world.
Good reporting ass Mickey.
We love you, Mickey.
Hey, I hope y'all can hear me. I hope, because let me tell you something. That video was going to take probably days for me to complete. But nevertheless, y'all, we are here. Hold on, give me a second. I'm trying to load up something real quick. All right, y'all. So we're going to get back into it and get to the business of it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to just run it back since I had technical difficulties before. Nevertheless, the question of the hour is: did 1090J, does Mickey Truth stamp that 1090J snitch? Like, I really didn't know y'all really wanted me to either say yay or nay. I noticed that, hey, despite what y'all may feel, some of y'all, right? Y'all be wanting to know my thoughts on it. What it do, Cabin Fever? So, again, today is the day I'm going to officially speak on it. Y'all know I'm gonna have to do it Mickey Truth way now. I can't. Y'all already know. Don't nothing change with that. Hold on 1 second. I had to sneeze. Okay, let's get into it, man. Like I said, if you was just on live with me, I had technical difficulties, but we're gonna have to run it back since this will stand as the 1090J video. Okay, this will stand. So take it as it is. Now, with that being said, I went looking back through old interviews. Okay, as I stated before, if you did not know how 1090 Jake actually started on YouTube, because I didn't, but I recently found out in the last 24 hours. So I'm just going to start there because that's where a lot of my, I guess, information to compare came from. So on YouTube, it's a channel called Lockdown 23 and 1. Okay. I do not know the host's name, okay? However, I think it's Josh or something like that, but nevertheless, Lockdown 23 and 1, about 4 years ago, right, did 3 videos of 1090 Jake, okay? This is before he even had his own channel, okay? During these 3 parts, he speaks on his prison time, okay? He speaks on situation that came from when he was in prison. The reason why I know this was before he became a YouTuber because I believe it's part 2, but don't hold me to it. Is one of these parts, 1, 2, or 3. I think it's 2. The host said, "Hey, you should start your own channel. I love hearing your stories, but don't give them all to me. Put them on your own channel." So on part 3, he comes on, and at that point he has his own channel. So again, same thing with my story. I started with just say no to Skull. Come to find out, 1090 Jake had a similar situation. So I say that just to say I listen to these interviews. You should listen to them because that's where a lot of the stuff I'm going to end off with when I tell y'all what I think about it came from. Now, with that being said, before I get into my portion of what we're going, meaning we get into the paperwork, I do want to play something for y'all, okay? And I'm going to start with, again, on In a Sentence, which is 1090 Jake's page, okay? It's actually a video under his playlist section, okay? And this was issue, I don't know why is the delay with my screen catching up, but hopefully I will see it soon. I'm going to just keep going. May 15, 2019. and it's titled Confinement, Florida Prison. We're just going to listen to the first 2 minutes of it because that's all I need for where I'm going, where I'm going. Here we go.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another episode of EOS. Yo, big shout out to everybody that's been subscribing and rocking with me. I really appreciate it. I checked like 20 minutes ago. We at what, like 5,000 subscribers? That's wild. I got some stuff, planned for the future for y'all. I got some wall art that's gonna be going in the back, obviously, so you don't have to look at this blank wall. I got some people that I've done time with personally, like either been in a cell, a dorm, anything like that I'm gonna be bringing on here for interviews. So they're gonna be able to just speak on their experience the same way. They're gonna touch down on some of the experiences we had together, tell y'all some crazy stories. But yeah, this episode here, starting off where we left off on the last one, this is going to be pretty much all about confinement. So when I got fired up, the first thing that happened is everyone involved in that, those 4 people, we all went under investigation. When you go under investigation, you go into administrative confinement. When they come to a conclusion on what happened, you're either let out of investigation, you go back onto the main unit, or what'll happen is you go to disciplinary confinement. And if you've been, disciplined, if you get 60 days, 60 days, 100 days, however many days you have to do, you would do that in disciplinary confinement. So what the COs did, and like I told you guys, they originally had beat the other 2 people that we were with. I don't care if you're my enemy. I don't care if you just put a hole in my head. I don't want to see you get beat by a CO. If anything's going to happen, I'd rather do it myself. But situations like that, you can't really avoid them. And I felt for him just like how I felt for my brother that got beat. You know what I mean? But basically what these COs did is after they beat the other 2 inmates that didn't have anything wrong with them, because me and the other Zoe, we both had holes in our heads. They said that I did that to the Zoe and that the other kid did that to my brother. So they basically lied and said that we did everything to each other. They said that the kid hit me with a brick, I hit him with a lock, vice versa in the other story. So we all went to confinement under investigation. Every one of us got sentenced to crazy, crazy time in confinement. Now, just to point this out, in New York, I'm not 110%.
All right. So, like I told y'all before, I don't know why he started talking about New York. However, that was what I needed to go along with where we're going with it. Okay. Now, another thing that I'm about to do real quick. I got some more audio I want to play y'all. I just do not recall exactly where this audio is because, like I said, it's definitely on the um what is it called? Lockdown 23andMe. I just can't remember the place, but nevertheless. All right, hold on. Hold on. Wrong one. All right. So I played that because again, this was important to me because this was before 1090 became the 1090 that we know now. The 1090 that, hey, will go get to work on whoever and expose whoever. This is before that. So that's why I wanted to use that, okay? As my basis because hey, you people, oh, hold on. I was wondering why I couldn't see nothing on the screen. Hold on, y'all. So, people definitely change over time, but those original starting stories are very key, very important. Okay. So let's fast forward into now the allegations, the snitch allegations. Okay. And I'm going to go on with this one. Okay. Because again, I've ran content on the original case with the gun and auntie house 2 times. Y'all can check it out. Okay. The whole prison stories or something. I looked into it one time. I couldn't find the actual situation, and I really don't care to look into it. So I know a lot of people are running all that together. However, this is particularly with this situation. Okay. So all the clips I have played for you, the last clips just now, when he was saying he was the hearing his brother scream and all that and crying and all that. That's from when he before he became a YouTuber. That was when he was on Lockdown 23 and 1. Okay. The confinement one was once he started YouTube, but as y'all heard, that was 5,000 subscribers, is how many he had at the time. He's almost to a million. So that just shows how early on in his YouTube career it was. Okay. Now, let's get into the statement. Couple things. Now, this is Mickey Truth doing what Mickey Truth do the way I do it. Okay. So y'all gonna have to just walk down this way with me. Okay. Now, a couple things to point out is the date. This was written on January 16, 2014. Also, it's at Lancaster, CI. All right. Now, this is a statement of facts. Now, this particular report is in one of 1090 Jake's videos from 4 years ago. So when he first started. Okay. Now, this is what it says. Inmate Cherry Jacob C07652 is being charged with 110 aggravated battery or attempted aggravated battery on inmate, which is a violation of the rules of prohibiting conduct. On January 16, 2014, I was assigned as the complex force supervisor. At approximately 0600 hours on the B1 side, I observed inmates Cherry and blank, and then that's probably the prison number, in front of the water fountain fighting. Inmate Cherry had a rock in his hand, and Blank had a sock with a lock tied to it, both striking each other. That's important. Both striking each other. I ordered both inmates to stop fighting and to get on the floor, to which they complied. Both inmates were restrained and escorted to Blank for evaluation. Inmate Cherry was placed in administrative confinement pending a deposition of this report. Inmate Cherry received the following injuries: 1.5 cm laceration to left upper head. Now, what I don't know how it normally works, because what stood out to me is that it says inmate Cherry was placed in administrative confinement. It doesn't say if the other inmate was placed in it. But I don't know if they will put that or not on this, but that stood out to me. Another thing was that it says both of them was fighting each other. In the audio I played from his original 2019 breakdown of this story, he said that he was blamed for doing something to the Zoe, and then the other guy was blamed from that. So basically, he's saying that the police or the correction officers lied on him, whatever, whatever. That's what he said in that audio. Okay. So let's continue on. Now, this is the statement. If you were on the channel with us for Triple Threat Friday, shout out to Music 101. I read this, but I'm going to do it again. Okay. Now, if you pay attention to something, okay, I had to print it off, but you know, at the bottom, it says date. It says January 14th, right? Now, obviously, it can't be January, like the date 14. So I'm just thinking this is the year. So we know this was written in January of 2014. Okay. That stood out to me. Now, it was received to whoever takes in, oh, the warden's office. I see it now at the bottom. February 4th, 2014. Okay. As the report stated that the officers wrote, the incident was on January 16th. Okay. So between January 16th, 2014 to February 4th, 2014 is when this is written. Okay. Now, you may be like, well, what does that have to do with anything? Hey, this is how my mind works. Okay. We're going to get there. Now, I actually typed it up in myself because I couldn't read it. So I typed it up so that I can get a clear understanding of what's being said. Now I want to point out this. I don't know who or why, but if you look here, this something is whited out. So it's a sentence missing. Why that sentence is missing, I don't know. But something is taken out. So I mean, I wish I could tell you, but when I printed it off, you can tell it was something written right there. So something is missing. I will put that disclaimer out. All right, so I'm gonna read it to y'all. On 1/16/14, I was sitting on my bunk when inmate Jimmy Hooray K08763 hit me with a rock and sock on my head. This was during morning shift change. The officer came in and cuffed him. Now, one thing I want to point out is that this is how this is starting off, right? But if we go over to the actual report from the officer, it says it was in front of the water fountain. Now, maybe his bunk was by the water fountain. I don't know, but that's already a difference in statement because this says the fight was in front of the water fountain. Um, this statement that 1090 Jake has confirmed he wrote, right? Was he was sitting on his bunk, okay? So let me see where I stopped at. All right, here we go. He then checked all the inmates and found Mark Cherry was also assaulted. Now, let's go back to guess what? The original statement. It does not mention Mark Cherry being assaulted in this, okay? It only mentions Jacob Cherry as the Cherry that's being listed in the actual report, okay? So that's another thing that I got highlighted that stood out to me, okay? Now, it says more staff came and then cuffed me, Mark Cherry, and Jerry Lewis. We were all taken to the back room of B dorm. Inmates Hooray and Lewis were said to be the two assaulters, and me and Mark Cherry the victims. Hold on. I'm kind of confused now, right? Because if we go back and hold on. Let me Let me go back to the audio. Let me play it again. All right, and then I just realized that's not even the one I needed to play, but hold on. I need to play his confinement story real quick again, and then we'll get back into it.
Subscribers. That's wild. I got some back onto the main unit, or what'll happen is you go to disciplinary confinement.
My bad, I skipped.
Starting off where we left off on the last one, this is going to be pretty much all about confinement. So when I got fired up, the first thing that happened is everyone involved in that, those 4 people, we all went under investigation. When you go under investigation, you go into administrative confinement. When they come to a conclusion on what happened, you're either let out of investigation, you go back onto the main unit, or what'll happen is you go to disciplinary confinement. And if you've been, disciplined, if you get 60 days, 60 days, 100 days, however many days you have to do, you would do that in disciplinary confinement. So what the COs did, and like I told you guys, they originally had beat the other 2 people that we were with. I don't care if you're my enemy. I don't care if you just put a hole in my head. I don't want to see you get beat by a CO. If anything's going to happen, I'd rather do it myself. But situations like that, you can't really avoid them. And I felt for him just like how I felt for my brother that got beat. You know what I mean? But basically what these COs did is after they beat the other 2 inmates that didn't have anything wrong with them, because me and the other Zoe, we both had holes in our heads. They said that I did that to the Zoe and that the
All right, so that's the part that stood out to me because according to this, which is on 1090 Jake's page from May 2019, he said that the officer said that he was basically one of the assaulters, right? However, in this grievance statement, okay, it says that inmates Hooray and Lewis were said to be the 2 assaulters, and me and Mark Cherry the victims. Okay. Then it goes on to say, I then witnessed Sergeant Martin start beating inmate Jerry Lewis. Eventually, Sergeant Martin, Captain Sapp, Officer Kai, and a few other officers were called for emergency traffic, beat inmate Lewis and inmate Hooray. Captain Sapp then told us, I don't care who did what. All of you are getting charges if you write anything but what I say will beat your fucking ass till you need to go to the hospital. I was then forced to write that I was assaulted and fought back in self defense, which is untrue. Okay, y'all following me? Now, it then says Officer Kai, who wrote me a DR, 2 DRs, possession of weapon, and assault on an inmate, lied in both statements. This is the part. He says he witnessed me assaulted with a lock tied to a sock and says I struck another inmate with a rock in my hand. I was clearly hit with a rock, which broke off of my head into 2 pieces and spread pebbles of asphalt all over my property. That's why I'm going to stop real quick because, again, if we go back up, the version of the story that 1090 Jake originally said was that he was accused by the CO of attacking the Zoe. We just heard it in his own words, okay? And that was a lie, right? So when I went back and I read the statement again, I'm like, so in reality, okay, you're not saying that the COs, right, were wrong as far as the situation, because originally in the DR it says that they both were observed fighting. You're saying that you didn't do anything, they did it to you, right? That's what I took from it. Y'all let me know if y'all agree with that. So if we continue with the statement, it then says, I am a victim in this case. I was assaulted by an inmate, then threatened and blackmailed by staff. So reading that now makes me look at it totally different than what I originally thought, because by saying, hey, yeah, the officers lied, right? But they lied and said, I was one of, I was at fault, right? I was attacking somebody, right? What really happened was I was assaulted by somebody with a rock, and then they blackmailed and threatened me. Then it says, This is the second grievance I've written. I believe the first was thrown out by an officer. Now, the question is, was that grievance about this situation or was it about something else? No, I don't believe nobody on either side has said that. Next it says, I have informed my family who will be contacting Tallahassee for investigator and getting a lawyer if I'm not released from confinement. I have been assaulted, threatened, and blackmailed and pending CM for charges I never committed. Please help me. So, with that being said, let me pull up the actual live and then we're gonna go from there. Who has? I think. Let's see. Hold on. I thought I had it put up. I must have exited out. My bad, y'all. Hold on. Soon as these ads stop. Oh my gosh, these ads is driving me crazy. All right, let me start it over. It's so weird having these headphones on because I can hear the audio before it's even playing for y'all. So
Cherry, that's in the paperwork. Cherry.
okay, hold on. Let me go back. Let me go back.
So look, they like, yeah, we got him, fucking white boy. That's how. But that's what it's looking like. People like, what the fuck's going on? So, all right, so we just posted on No Jumper right now. It's some paperwork that's flowing around. Everybody tagging me and that shit, sending it to me. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I look at it, and I'm like, all right, what the fuck is this? So I instantly got to hit 290J. So I posted it on the page and shit. So and to your side, break down exactly what's going on in that statement that's posted online right now. So that's the prison grievance. That's what that is. That's not a because 99% of people on here ain't never even been to prison. That's a grievance. So what happened? Whatever date in 2014, we was at war with the Zoes and beat them at Lancaster. That was the jungle dorm. It was during shift change. One of my brothers popped one of the Zoes with a lock. He had a big fat ass gold lock. Hit the Zoe in the back of the head. That's Mark Cherry. That's in the paperwork. Cherry. That French shit. Because it's like 3 different people. I see Jimmy Hooray. Louis. Listen, we're gonna break all that. I can even bring.
hold on. Hold on. So he's saying that Mark Cherry is his people. Hold on, let me listen to that again. Hold on. Did I what?
Fucking white boy. That's how. But that's what it's looking like. People like, what the fuck's going on? So all right, so we just posted on No Jumper right now. It's some paperwork that's flowing around. Everybody tagging me and that shit, sending it to me. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I look at it, and I'm like, all right, what the fuck is this? So I instantly got to hit 290J. So I posted it on the page and shit. So and to your side, break down exactly what's going on in that statement that's posted online right now. So that's the prison grievance. That's what that is. That's not a because 99% of people on here ain't never even been to prison. That's a grievance. So what happened?
I should have known something was up when he made that comment about people not being to prison to understand what it is. I should have known something was up.
Whatever date in 2014, we was at war with the Zoes and beat them at Lancaster. That was the jungle dorm. It was during shift change. One of my brothers popped one of the Zoes with a.
All right, so he just said one of his brothers popped the Zoe. So, okay, I just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Lock. He had a big fat ass gold lock. Hit the Zoe in the back of the head. That's Mark Cherry. That's in the paperwork. Cherry. That French shit.
Mark Cherry. Hold on. Let me see what the statement says. Okay, and found. So basically, so far, he basically covered up for his homeboy and put it on the other person because in the statement it said during shift change, the officer came in, cuffed him, Jimmy Hooray, right? Because on here, so I was sitting on my bunk. Then inmate Jimmy Hooray hit me with a rock and sock. Lock. That's supposed to be a lock, my bad. Lock and sock on my head. This was during morning shift change. The officer came in and cuffed him. He then checked all inmates and found Mark Cherry was also assaulted. However, you know what I'm saying? He just said Mark Cherry was the one who hit the Zoe.
Because it's like three different people. I see Jimmy Hooray, Louis.
Listen, we're gonna break all that. I can even bring up their fucking pictures so you can see what they look like. But Mark Cherry was the Zoe that got hit in the back of his head with a brick, or not a brick, a lock. Put a hole in his shit. So he got hit. He went.
Hold on. Now I'm confused. I could have sworn he just said Mark Cherry was okay. So now, am I tripping? Did he say Mark Cherry was the one who hit the guy, or did I mishear that the first time? I kind of want to get this together. So hold on. Let me go back just a little bit more because I'm like a swan. He says, no, let me see.
We was at war with the Zoes and beat on them at Lancaster. That was the jungle doing. It was during shift change. One of my brothers popped one of the Zoes with a lock. He had a big fat ass gold lock.
Okay, so one of his brothers, meaning one of his members, popped the Zoe with a lock. Let me keep up with this. Okay. Okay, one of the members popped Zoe with lock. All right, I'm getting there. All right, let's go.
Hit the Zoe in the back of the head. That's Mark Cherry. That's in the paperwork. Cherry. You know, that French shit.
Because it's like three different people. I see Jimmy Hooray, Louis.
Listen, we're gonna break all that. I can even bring up their fucking pictures so you can see what they look like. But Mark Cherry was the Zoe that got hit in the back of his head with a brick, or not a brick, a lock. Put a hole in his shit. So he got hit. He went, made this weird ass sound. Everybody in the dorms like mad quiet and shit. I'm getting up because this early in the morning. I got my arms in my sleeve, like in my shirt or whatever to be warm. I sleep right next to the water fountain, which is right next to the booth. The booth is what it's.
All right, now we getting there. Okay, so we just confirmed that he was next to the water fountain. So the statement that the officer put in the DR is indeed the statement that he's saying is supposed to mimic what's in his grievance. All right, we got that confirmed.
TOs are at. Cocaine is Jimmy. Cocaine is his nickname. That's the other Zoe.
So Jimmy Hooray.
That's who fired me up. So he walks this way and he swings a sock and it ends up being a piece of asphalt from the basketball court. That's what I got hit with in the back of my head. The shit.
All right, so Jimmy Hooray, which is, I believe he spoke with somebody online. I can't remember. I think that's what it was. All right, so he just said that Jimmy Hooray hit him with a sock of asphalt. Okay. Now, mind you, if we go back to the statement, right, it says here, the statement per 1098 was I was sitting on my bunk when inmate Jimmy Hooray hit me with a rock and sock on my head. This was during morning shift change. The officer came in and cuffed him. Okay. Now that's his statement right there. Right. Then it says he then checked all the inmates and found Mark Cherry, or now I'm saying Cherry or whatever, was also assaulted. Now, 1090 Jake just said Mark Cherry is a Zoe. Then he just said Jimmy Hooray, aka Cocaine, is a Zoe also. Okay. So if we go back to the officer statement, okay, it says here, and again, I've already said only 2 inmates are listed on this, which is 1090 Jake, and then we're assuming it's Jimmy Hooray, but it's, blacked out, right? Well, it's redacted. Okay. Now here it just says that the officer, okay, observed inmate Cherry and assumingly Hooray in front of the water fountain fighting. Inmate Cherry had a rock in his hand and Blank had a sock with a lock tied to it. Both both striking each other. So with that being said, 1090 Jake just says it was actually assault with asphalt in it. Okay. And also that his people hit Mark Cherry with a lock. And remember, knocked him out is what he said. Okay, so let's go back to it. Oh, which one is it? I got too many things open. All right, here we go.
Break and fucking rocks and pebbles shoot all over my bunk. He fires me.
All right, y'all heard that. Rocks and pebbles shoot all over his bunk. That is not in the statement with the officer version of it. Okay, keep that in mind. What it do, everybody?
Up while the COs is watching this shit. The COs see him do this, and then he goes right up to the booth and just stands there until they come out the door and then lock him up. So what we call.
All right, pause real quick. According to his statement, though, 1090 Jake said the officer came in and cuffed him. He then checked all inmates and found Mark Cherry also assaulted. More staff came and then cuffed me, Mark Cherry, and Jerry Lewis. Hmm.
That in Florida, that's a gangster check-in. You can check in where you, hey, CO, I want to go PC, I don't feel safe, or you crash somebody in front of the CO. Where you still get off, but you do it in front of the CO so you get picked.
So I got a question though, because now it's kind of like, because if his people hit the Zoe with, he said in his own words, they were beefing with, right? So if his people hit a Zoe, knock the Zoe out, then another Zoe comes and hits 1090, would that still be considered a gangster check-in? That seemed like that would just be lick back type shit. I don't know. But okay, let's keep going.
Picked up. So when I go to get up, my homie Red Light that's in the dorm with me is like, nah, don't get up, don't get up. They're going to come in here, they're going to see you straight, you're going to be good. They came in, CO was like, let me see your head. I turn this way. He's like, all right, let me see the other side. I turn this way. He's like, nah, you got to go to medical. You got a hole back there. So I got a sky back there and everything. So while this is happening, while the COs are in the dorm, one of the homies that's further down stands up because he had a Zoe sitting behind him. So he thought the other Zoe was going to crash out because they trying to get the fuck out of the dorm now because it's war. So he stands up, the CO grabs him. Hey, come here. Grabs him up. That's the other name that's in the case. What, Jerry Lewis? Oh, yeah. He has nothing to do with nothing.
Now, mind you, y'all, these names are not listed in the original statement of facts, right? And that's what's crazy, right? Because when you glance at it, you see a lot of red redaction, black redaction, right? And you would think, okay, maybe it's multiple names, but when in reality, it's only two people listed in the officer statement. All these names that we're hearing, Jerry Lewis, Mark Cherry, and yeah, they're listed in 1090 Jake's grievance, not in the statement. So let's see.
But he get grabbed up. Then they start looking at everybody. They're checking hands, heads, whatever. They check Mark Cherie and they see he got a fucking hole like this in the back of his head. So they take all four of us, the kid that fired me up, me, the Zoe that got fired up, and the other homie that didn't do shit. They take us all into the back of the dorm where it's like a back hallway that COs are able to come into the unit without nobody seeing them. They take us back there. They beat the fuck out of the one that fired me up, and they beat the fuck out of my bro, Jerry Lewis. Beat the shit out of them.
All right, now he said his bro, Jerry Lewis, but he just said whatever the dude name is. Okay, but anyway, so the officers beat on Hooray and Jerry Lewis. So basically, the ones with the holes in their head, according to this story so far, didn't get touched. Okay.
Then they take me and Mark Sherry to medical. So we got to get stitched up and shit. We get stitched up, we go to confinement. Once you in confinement in Florida, you go to AC confinement, which is administrative confinement. You got to go in there for however long it is, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then you go in front of DR court. When you go in front of DR court, that's when they're like, okay, so you got hit with possession of a weapon and assault on an inmate. How do you plead? Not guilty. All four of us got hit with all the same shit. So they lied in the DR and said that I hit him back with a rock and he had a lock or some shit. It never happened. I just got fired up. Then the two other dudes, they said they went at it. They didn't even do nothing because Mark Sherry got popped by one of my bros that didn't even get caught for doing it. But because this kid fired me up in front of the COs, all four of us went to confinement. Obviously, he went to confinement, but then the three of us went to confinement too. So all of us go in there, we all get hit with 120 days. After we get hit with 120 days, I write a grievance.
Okay. So he said after he get hit, well, 120 days, he wrote the grievance. Because remember I pointed out earlier the dates? So the original report, right, that not only No Jumper posted by somebody, but it's also on 1090 Jake's video from 4 years ago. The incident happened on January 16, 2014. And then the actual stamp on this was February 4th, 2014, right? And then if you look up here on the date, it says January 14, but don't say the date. Okay. So if we just go look through the calendar real quick, give me a second. Let me pull up my calendar and see how much time is that in between. Y'all know I get real technical to it. Y'all should be used to it. It's cool. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So it's 19 days in between the incident and the date that the warden's office receives, okay, the actual grievance, okay? Now, I need to go back just a little bit because he said something about how much time or something.
3 weeks. Then you go in front of DR court. When you go in front of DR court, that's when they're like,
I need to go back a little bit more.
Then they start looking at everybody. They're checking hands, heads, whatever. They check Mark Cherie and they see he got a fucking hole like this in the back of his head. So they take all four of us, the kid that fired me up, me, the Zoe that got fired up, and the other homie that didn't do shit. They take us all into the back of the dorm where it's like a back hallway that COs are able to come into the unit without nobody seeing them. They take us back there. They beat the fuck out of the one that fired me up, and they beat the fuck out of my bro, Jerry Lewis. Beat the shit out of them. Then they take me and Mark Sherry to medical. So we gotta get stitched up and shit. We get stitched up. We go to confinement. Once you in confinement in Florida, you go to AC confinement, which is administrative confinement. You got to go in there for however long it is, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then you go in front of DR court. When you go in front of DR court, that's when they're like, okay, so you got hit with possession of a weapon and assault on an inmate. How do you plead? Not guilty. All four of us got hit with all the same shit. So they lied in the DR and said that I hit him back with a rock and he had a lock or some shit. It never happened. I just got fired up. Then the two other dudes, they said they went at it. They didn't even do nothing because Mark Sherry got popped by one of my bros that didn't even get caught for doing it. But because this kid fired me up in front of the COs, all four of us went to confinement. Obviously, he went to confinement, but then the three of us went to confinement too. So all of us go in there, we all get hit with 120 days. After we get hit with 120 days, I write a grievance. They already know bro popped me because they fucking watched him do it. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I got hit with this, da-da-da-da-da. And then the COs beat the fuck out of them too. I said the COs beat the same dude that fired me up. And then they beat the other homie that had nothing to do with nothing. So they talking about, oh, you snitched on dude. How did I snitch on dude? We already got sentenced to confinement.
All right. So far, because there's something else I want to do before I get to my conclusion, right? So far, right? For one, extra names is provided. I'm just going to be honest. It's extra names provided that wasn't in the original statement of facts from the CO, okay? Another thing is whether or not Jimmy Hooray caught time or not, it's the point of 1090 Jake. You made sure to clarify that you didn't do anything, but he did. Because you still say you got assaulted by an inmate. Okay. You list his name. You just clarify that the correctional officers were lying when they said that you actually did something. Now, what I'm still confused about is this: if the officers actually threatened, beat you, whatever, to say you was a victim, why did you even get rolled up anyway? If that was really what was going on, where is that statement? When was that written? Because between the date of the incident to the date of the grievance being received from the warden's office is 19 days. Okay, so I kind of wonder about that part. That's still a little. I'm gonna see what else he says next. If he doesn't say anything that we need, we're gonna go to the next part, and then we're gonna, go from there.
That already happened. We already got found guilty in confinement. But not only that, you crashed me in front of the police where they watching it, so your ass to just check in. Then they said, "Oh, you snitched on the police." How you snitched on the police? I thought Kodak Black did that. Everybody said, "No."
Oh, that's a good point, but we're gonna save that one for a minute, okay? Because that's coming up too. All right, boom. Now, I had to go back and listen to some clips and things like that. And as I showed y'all before 1090 Jake was 1090 Jake, who we know now, he was actually 1090 Jake on lockdown 23 and 1, talking about his prison time. Okay. So y'all definitely go check it out. I'm not gonna go through the process of breaking that down or like doing all that, but y'all go check it out. But I have some notes that I took. Okay. All right. So hold on, let me get my notepad up. So according to the storyline, and when I started to listen to hours of this, okay, according to the storyline, 1090 J went to Sumter Correction Institution, right? This is supposed to be like the youth offender camp or something. So yeah, this is where he went first and foremost. When he was there, he actually had to do confinement time there too. Okay, just to say, that's he breaks down. Okay, in the interview, I guess you would call it, with Lockdown 23 and 1. Okay. From Sumter Correctional Institution, it he then speaks on Lancaster, okay, Correctional Institution, which, as y'all saw in the report, is where this situation, happened. Now, with this being said, Lancaster, according to 1090 Jake, when you first get there, you have to go through like an orientation phase, which is an A dorm, right? Once you finish that, say it's a couple weeks, you then go, to the main yard, which he went to B dorm. Now, what was interesting to me is the timeline, okay? Is that in actuality, 1090 Jake wasn't in B dorm long. According to his interview, it was like a couple weeks, like 2 weeks or so. So this situation had to happen pretty quick. Okay. Now, from there, he went to a work camp. And this is where I'm like, well, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. If you are in confinement and you are, had so many, because he also said he got a lot of DIs while he was in confinement, how you end up on a work camp? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you do that? So that's a question I can't answer, but that's a question I have. How do you do that? Um, Next, he speaks on during this interview, okay, that he also got sent off with multiple other members on both sides, Zoes and Bloods or whatever, and went to Lake Butler. Okay. Went to Lake Butler. Now, he was still quote unquote in confinement. Okay. And said it transferred over to Lake Butler. So my thing is this: how do you still end up on a work camp if you in confinement? And why was it so hard for you to do your time, or why did you write the grievance to get out of confinement if, per your words, you did over a year in confinement altogether anyway, starting at something CI? That was strange to me, right? Another thing, in all the interviews I listened to from Lockdown 21, Lockdown 23 and 1, and on In a Sentence, he never mentions writing a grievance. That blew me away, right? Because if in actuality the grievance is just a grievance, is nothing, right? Why haven't you in none of these videos from the time you started on YouTube till now, before it was put out by somebody else, you have never ever mentioned grievance to my understanding, right? You haven't mentioned it. Now, shout out to, it was somebody. I can't remember, right? Somebody sent me a clip of a YouTube video that had audio of 1090 Jake speaking on a grievance. Now, I don't feel like looking for it. I just had got it this morning. I don't feel like looking for it. But nevertheless, and he spoke on it, which he even told me myself. We had a conversation and he said, "Hey, you know what you say, they will use against you." So, prime advice, okay? So that's my advice back at him. What you say can be used against you for sure, okay? Because that's what's happening. So I got sent this while I was on live earlier, and I'm about to play it again as soon as I get it up, and then we're gonna get to what y'all have came here for, okay? Let me pull it up. And I'm only gonna play a little bit of it, just the part that I need.
You know they're gonna be on you though. They're gonna be like 10 that.
Yeah, but they on dick though already, because I can show them all type of shit. They're gonna be like, nah, bro ain't rap, but this white boy, we gotta get the white boy up out of here.
But they saying
motherfuckers is still talking about a smoke shop that I never even worked at. I ended up getting another job at a smoke shop. So this was like the best job I ever had. I had dunks, pizza, smoke shop. In here I broke the sales record. Like I was in there killing it. They loved me as a fucking employee.
All right, so I was sent that. Shout out to this channel, Juan's Old World. Shout out to them. My thing with that, I would need to know, as many smokes, if that's per se the smoke shop in question. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie on that one. Okay, but nevertheless, that is interesting enough. Now, a couple things, red flags stuck out to me with this whole 1090 Jake thing, right? Is for one, doing what we do, and I say we because I do the same similar stuff for the many different reasons. I may not be almost a million subscribers, but nevertheless the content is the same, and we have covered some of the same cases. Okay, and one thing about it, doing what we do, you got to stand on business for sure. Okay, because you can't call one thing snitching and then say, "Oh, it's not that," when it's my turn and I'm it, right? Another thing is you got to, for one, ain't nobody exposure shit with Mickey Truth, okay? Because for one, I ain't got no statements, okay, at all. But nevertheless, I had like a petty theft, and if y'all was on my live, I went, got the paperwork, broke it down, had my cousin who was there come on. Like, we gonna put it out. Ain't nobody about to run nothing on me, okay? For two, though, it's like I was disappointed even before it got to the point where it got to this point where everybody's making, I was just like, how you let somebody expose you like that? Doing what we do, you supposed to definitely you know, definitely have that out already. Now, mind you, it was a red flag to me that grievance was never mentioned in none of these interviews, right? It was always the incident, the DR, but not the grievance. So to me, again, like you said, half of y'all ain't been to prison. I damn sure ain't been to prison, okay? However, right, outside looking in, if you want me to really think that a grievance is just a complaint is no big deal. Why have you never spoke on it before? That's strange. Spoke on it on your own regards. Okay. Another thing is this. He said something on that live. I can't remember the timestamp. However, he said this on that live. He said, "Oh, my people still gonna fuck with me." If y'all don't recall, when the finesse 2 times situation was trending, he said himself, he said it to me directly, and he said it on No Jumper that finesse 2 times said it to him. Okay. So with that situation, that was a red flag to me too, because it was snitch allegations with finesse 2 times when that was mentioned. That gave him pause. It gave me pause. So when I heard 1090 Jake say it, it made me pause. It made me kind of like, okay, interesting, right? Next was um the fact that he mentioned money. Okay, right? He mentioned like, yeah, I'm up. Da, 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 da. Now y'all know when somebody mentioned money to me, y'all know I done said that about academics. You can tell when there's some truth to something because you're mentioning money. Like, what money got to do with any of this that's going on? It's always money, right? Another red flag, and again, in my defense, I didn't want to really run this content because I requested his prison records before he confirmed the paperwork was factual, and I don't have them back yet, right? And with me, I don't like to go off of it. But the more pressure y'all applied to the fire and was like, yo, we like, you really needed to speak on it because if it was somebody else. And I didn't look at it like that. I just looked at it like, hey, I ain't really got it. You know what I'm saying? So nevertheless, listening to his interviews, similar to what I did with Trench's News, is how we got here. All right. So with that being said, in my opinion, definitely 10 on the J definitely told. And I'm gonna say he told because like I said, he provided, and y'all can look on my community wall for my new people. That is snitching. Snitching is to inform. And when you inform, you give information that was not provided. He can say all day long what was said by the correctional officer, but he never said, hey, that's not the full report, right? He never said that's not. He said that's it. He put it in his own video. So with that being said, I don't see none of those names mentioned in the statements of facts written by the officer. I only see it in the grievance written, right? Number two, I feel like that grievance may not have led to Jimmy Hooray time or whatever. However, it was a deflection or diversion for him to say, hey, I didn't do nothing. I shouldn't be in here. He did it. Like it was him. It wasn't me type shit. Right. So again, that to me is definitely telling because, right, why would you need to mention it? If you didn't do anything, then say you just didn't do anything, right? Or if you were so concerned about people being beat, because again, I played the audio where he spoke on like it was hard hearing Jimmy Lewis screaming for his mama and crying while the officer was beating him, right? If that's the case, then just write that. Your grievance should have been just that. Your grievance should have just been these officers, okay, took us in a back room and I witnessed them beat the shit out of 2 people. You didn't even have to bring up the fact of the actual incident with you and Jimmy, right? And being that, because originally when I couldn't really read it all the way through, I thought he was saying the whole shit was cap, right? He was saying like the police lied completely. But in reality, he was saying, yo, they lied on me. I ain't did shit. He did it. Come on. You're saying he did it. You're saying I didn't do nothing. He did it. That's telling snitching. Now, another attribute to this, again, is definitely the gang ties to it. And I said it when I ran the paperwork the first time with the statement from when he was at his aunt's house. I'm in no way affiliated with no gang, okay? However, people that are said it's a no-no anyway to have a statement. But again, that's out of my lane. I'm just going off of what the definition of snitching mean, what the statement says, And being that you confirm that this is your statement 1090 Jake, we just gonna have to call a spade a spade. And you snitch. I mean, hey, I guess it happened to, a lot of people. It ain't happened to me, but maybe it just goes like that. It's really not much more I can say about that. Now, as far as the Kodak Black situation, and I'm just this is another just a spade a spade. Give me one moment. I thought I had the audio up already, but hold on. And this is like just gonna be, hey, this is just where it's at because according to 1090 Jake, this is where.
Just fuck with me. They DM me, they FaceTime me, but they don't want y'all to know that they fuck with me. Cause if I do a video on them, they're gonna act like they never fucked with me. And I ain't even talking about Kodak. I done spoke to rappers bigger than Kodak. But speaking on Kodak, you made a video dissing me saying I'm snitching for talking about the lyrics that somebody lost their bitch to 6ix9ine. And apparently it wasn't Anwell whose bitch was in the video. Apparently it was somebody else. But staying on the lyrics, it says you a one-man army. You ain't never need a click. But I wanted to interview you about how when you was a one-man army in the feds, you were rocking behind the Bloods, and then you just did a song with the biggest rat that ratted on the Bloods.
Is that for like they like Z's and that big across America?
Now, I didn't even say nothing about this dude saying that you was in protective custody in the feds and you never even hit the yacht in Big Sandy. I didn't even talk about that. But there's a lot of people that would hit me up after the video I did on you saying they was there at that time and you never touched that yacht. And you saying that breaking down who the one is that lost his girl to a snitch is snitching, even though there ain't no crime involved. Is this snitching? Writing a lawsuit the second you get to a prison saying that you getting beat by the COs because you don't want to be at that prison and you was allegedly on PC at this is that snitching? Is it snitching when you name drop the COs that are supposedly killing you slowly, doing all type of shit towards you? Is that snitching? Because I mean, I don't know. Maybe that ain't snitching. I know this ain't snitching, but one of these two things can actually result in somebody getting arrested, investigated, fucked up, right?
All right. 1090 Jake, as you told me, words, hey, words for anybody. I'm gonna pass it on. 1090 Jake passed this on to me as a piece of advice. I'm gonna pass it on to y'all. Okay, your words can be used against you, and according to what you said in the Kodak Black situation, you snitched too because you named correctional officers, right? That was beating on inmates and, as you said, threatening and blackmailing you, which is the equivalent of what 1090 Jake did, not 1090 Jake, Kodak Black did. Minus no inmates are listed in Kodak Black's thing, but take that part out, just talking about the officers. Then you got to call a spade, and that's what you said in your own words. So again, it's like it's really nowhere around it. Now, I will say this though. 1090 Jake did do a and I think it's part 2 of his Lockdown 23 and 1. He speaks on trying to go psych while he was in prison. So again, I don't know the ins and outs of the PC situation, right? However, it's like you try to go psych to get out of, I want to say, was it Late Butler or one of them? He like I can't remember which one, but he tried to get out and go to like a mental health facility. You know what I'm saying? So again, I don't know what's the difference between, like, as far as the environment, a mental health facility, and the PC zone or whatever. But again, words. This is all said by 1090 Jake. So I feel like his level or his definition of snitching is just, it's just point blank. I mean, is his words is just now providing. Again, I don't see how he let this slip through the crack and not drop it or whatever, speak on it, but he did. It is what it is. Um, but yeah, we got to call it what it is. You inform information on the inmates, okay, and it's no way around it. You wanted to clarify Who is that? Nah, it's not different. Um, I'm not even sure who is that. OG Swank. Nah, it's not. It's not no different because based on what 1090 Jake just said, he said the reason why that is snitching is because Kodak Black is name dropping COs that was beating on him, and that could lead to investigations and charges. And if you look at his statement, he is name dropping COs, okay, that was beating and threatening on him and other inmates that could have led or did lead to investigation and a case. So I mean, again, off his own words, okay. Look, these is his words that came back to bite him. Now, but we can't miss the fact that this grievance could be a cover up to not only shed light on the COs beating on the people, but also he was trying to get it up off him because, as he said, he didn't hit back. Dude hit him. So he made sure that was clear in the paperwork that, hey, I ain't did nothing. He did it. And the police, no, I ain't did nothing. It was on him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all ever, how can I put it? I know when I was younger, like when we was kids, and somebody would get in trouble and everybody would get in trouble. And then if you the one who say it wasn't me though, you still in trouble. Like the fuck is you telling for? Like I don't know how y'all was brought up, but that's how we was. You got to get in trouble. Like that's just how it go. But nevertheless, unfortunately, that's just where it's at. I mean, I don't really have much more to say. You know what I'm saying? Um, about it. And as far as like the Kodak Black again, his own words. Okay. And then he brought up, and then this is what was funny to me because then he brought up the Kodak Black situation on the live, right? To say, well, y'all said he wasn't snitching. So how I'm snitching? But on your video, you said it can lead to this. So again, that wasn't hypothetical, Lamar. And I get you. I understand where you're coming from, but it's not hypothetical because, and I can run it back if you need a refresher. He literally said one of them could lead to investigation. Or hold on, let me get his words because I don't want to misquote.
Is that snitching? Because I mean, I don't know. Maybe that ain't snitching. I know this ain't snitching, but one of these two things can actually result in somebody getting arrested, investigated, fucked up, right? Now, I wanted to interview Kodak to be a voice for the bros that's behind the wall that can't ask the questions that I was gonna ask. Wasn't gonna be no beef shit. Wasn't gonna be no extra shit. But instead, you decided to take it to Instagram, even though Adam 22 was already in communications with you about setting up the interview. We could have did this face to face. I'm gonna ask simple questions. You're gonna have simple answers. And we would have left it at that. But the only reason there's any negativity going on now is because you decided to do a video with a rat.
All right, so I mean that's that. Now, as far as that's just I just don't know how he let that just go slip through. And I wonder because on that live 1090 and 10 and again 1090 definitely um get the paperwork. I mean, I can't knock him for that. That's not what although people be wanting me to go at his throat about it, I can't take that away from him. But at the same time, when I heard him say he didn't know how to get grievance, that was a pause for me, for sure. I've never per se requested a grievance on nobody. I've have requested records, not in particular grievances though. However, that just shows that was just off to me. Like, how you don't know how to get grievances? Like, how did you know how to get that? Especially your own grievances. Okay. So that stuck out to me too. Again, I may not have voiced it, but I had some things I just, was like, I just didn't get how he couldn't get that. You get what I'm saying? Um, yeah, that was odd to me. You get what I'm saying? So, um, okay, yeah, it was off to me. I ain't gonna cap. Now, another thing is this though, and this is just I've been saying it for about a week now. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, okay? I don't know because I've been getting trolled heavy as hell. But listen, and y'all can clip this, save this, whatever. Mickey Truth ain't got no statements, no grievances. I ain't never been no prison. I did 4 days in the county, okay? And I only went to population for 12 hours, okay? And I got out. So I ain't got none of that, okay? So we won't be having no circus like this with me because I ain't got none of that. So my rapper people, just because 1090 Jake is taking an L, you still ain't safe. Like you still, if you pop up in the algorithm, your work can be pulled. So it is what it is. And okay, if your work has already been pulled, it still doesn't take away that you snitch. If you have been exposed as being a rapper that snitch, you're just that, a rapper that snitch. And I mean, you just got outed by a snitch. That's the only thing that's going to change to it, right? That's the only different narrative, but it still remains the same. So, to everybody that think it's a new day, nobody's paperwork is going to get pulled anymore, you're sadly mistaken because it's still business as usual. Again, it's like it's nothing for, on that level. And let's not forget, now, not only does 1090 Jake have um that on the prison politics, he's actually, or was, okay, um a gang member. So that's another situation he got on him too. I don't have gang affiliations, okay? I don't have them type of politics. Don't have prison politics, none of that, okay? I don't have none of that. So at the end of the day, I'm like I was saying, Squareville. I'm good in Squareville, but I don't have no statements, no interrogations, videos, none of that type of shit. So again, Queen of Paperwork is still out here, and more people are getting in my algorithm, and more content will be coming. Also, I got a new intro coming because I've realized in the past couple days, okay, my focus has been research, putting a story together, okay? People used to be like, "Oh, why are you focusing on snitching, this and that?" And I'm like, "Yo, who focuses on snitching?" Right? Like, I'm literally like, I will fact check some shit. I can clear people of stuff, all types of things like that. So I never understood it. But this situation with 1090 Jake brought me to a realization, right? Um, and it was this: when I made my little noise about 1090 Jake saying the N word on that live, nobody cared. Like nobody cared, right? And remember, I was like, well, how can you care about the snitch thing, but not him saying the N word? And shout out to Music 101 for being honest. He's like, yo, it wasn't gonna make him no money. Okay. So I get it, right? So I'm over here like, okay. Then if you listen to 1090 Jake interview on No Jumper, he says they're mad because I'm getting a bag off of this. He clearly showed that he made over $1 million off of this, right? Now, if somebody like 1090 Jake, who again is a maybe an active member or a previous member, I'm not sure, but gang affiliate, okay, can get on here and expose snitches, rats, for whatever reason why he does it, make a bag off of it, and turn out to have statements himself, then I know damn well I can make me some money off of this because I ain't got no damn statements. Okay. So I'm like, okay, since I thought we cared about the bigger picture, we don't. Unfortunately, snitch shit is just what it is, right? So I'm going to start dropping content to focus on that. Okay. So, with that being said, I'm still going to do my research like I do. This is the first video that's going to be honed into yes or no. Because, look, I really thought that people be tripping when they be like, yo, Mickey, did he snitch? And I was like, I don't say that. And obviously, people want my stamp, either yes or no. So, like my counterparts, the males in my field, because again, if not the only woman, one of few women that's in this lane, if they can capitalize off of it, right? If they can become millionaires off of it, and again, a lot of them seek my assistance and verification of a lot of things, then why not join in on it too? So, like I said, I will be revamping. I'll still be doing what I do the way I do it, but you will start seeing more direct answering to these snitch questions that y'all asked me about. Okay. Um, if y'all were around early on, y'all can just go back and look. I used to do it. And then I kind of, because the conversation always is different when it comes to snitching. But to me, I always stand on my square. Snitching is informing, and it's definitely your rat if you're telling on something you knowingly was involved in. Okay. Now, like y'all said in, online word civilian lane, look, hey, you don't have politics to worry about. But I've always felt like, again, in my real life, we don't use the word civilian. However, I always felt like if you knowingly were involved in something and you snitch and you snitch, you're a rat. Now, if you don't know what the fuck going on and somebody put you in some shit and you just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's different. Right, James. And look, it stops today, James. Like I said, I sat back and I really thought about this thing. And I was like, yo, I'm out here like really trying to get the facts of this and that. But I've never been the one to just say stamp if somebody is a snitch or not. And those days have changed. So like I said, the revamp is coming by the end of the week. I hope to be fully up and running. But again, the content is gonna stay the same. But I will look. I'm trying to tap in. Look, I don't know about a million. I mean, I'll take it. About a half a mil would be good too. But yeah, if that's how it go, that's how it goes. So yeah, I just want to let my truth team know about because I don't want y'all to be like, well, damn, Mickey, where this come from? But yeah, I got a new intro. I'm actually going to record it. Yes, I'm recording it. Y'all got me back in the studio, and it's a fun song though. I'm going to record it Thursday. And my intro will be changing up. So it's gonna get edited down. And then, like I said, it's gonna be different. We're gonna fuck it. Let's get to it. That's what people want to see. You got to go, what y'all say? You got to go with thank you, KG. You got to go with what the people want. You got to go with the analytics. So with that being said, yo, I feel like I definitely broke down like I would do anybody else, but we just got to call a spade a spade and stand on business. Um, no, I'm getting a new song. I got a new song. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, the new song and the new intro is definitely gonna be focused. Y'all got to hear it, okay? So it's like I said, it's a fun. It's catchy, just like my first one. Some of y'all probably ain't gonna like it because y'all gonna be like, "No, we don't like it. You're not a rapper," and I'm not. But it's a fun song. It's catchy, and it's more to paperwork and snitching and stuff like that. So it's like more of a gimmick song. My original intro was my like actual testimony, and I just used it as my intro. But this one is going to be focused more on the Mickey Truth brand. But yeah, like I said, I'm recording it Thursday. I was supposed to go today, but I'm gonna go Thursday and get in the studio and get it done. So yeah, it'll be coming soon. And like I said, hey, yeah, cause look, listen, I appreciate everybody that be rocking out with me, and getting me. Like I said, I'm over 2 million views in 10 months. Okay, I got 10K subscribers already. We just gonna go up. It's been a steady pace, and I loved it. But I also had to look around at my counterparts, and again, like I said, this 1090J thing woke it up. Cause I'm like, well, if that's the situation, then I need to. Cause again, we do. We're in the same field. Okay, so I'm trying to get these bags they keep talking about. Okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, this new one I won't. So I don't even know which one is my original song, and it's on the YouTube. My original song for "Conquer the World" is actually out mixed down. However, with this storage issue I'm having on my devices, I believe the one that's saved when I'm is the one that's not mixed down. So I got two. So yeah, but now, like I said, I like it as is. I'm not gonna change the intro as far as like what it is. It just won't be um my main intro no more. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? I may use it sometimes, but this new one, especially when I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? So Philip said, how many statements? Well, like I said, I don't know about this prison thing they was talking about, but at least two, because the one in the gun case, I don't know about the one in Boston if he made a statement or not. Um, but yeah. Oh, for those who was not on my live earlier, I am gonna break down that live and put out. I talked about the O Block situation with Cooperator 2, Cooperator 4. I'm gonna put that out when I get off of here. But yeah, this is about it. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get up off of here because I've been live for about 4 hours between my first live and this live. Um, hey, I just want to clarify it's a new game, a new day and age. The queen is rising. Hey, I've been the queen though, but it's just I had to add that though. I thought that was cute. But yeah, hey, ladies, we got to show them because one thing about it, okay, that I've been noticing, um, ladies, is that for one, the fellas underestimate us, okay? They be out here with this selective politicking, saying they standing on business and don't be, right? Because I get so much backlash. For one, I get backlash from women, right? Because for some reason, when I started doing the queen of paperwork, people like really, I guess, felt some type of way about it. So I get some backlash from women, but men give me a hard time too, okay? And again, a lot of people utilize me to fact check or verify stuff or whatever. And don't get me wrong, some have definitely came around, start giving me my props, but not everybody, right? So for it to be uncovered that 1090 J got statements out here telling on people and stuff like that, and paid now, don't get me wrong, he probably don't give two fucks about what I'm saying or what anybody's saying, because he's again, he already made a meal off of this, right? However, if he can have success and like get to the point where none of this matters, then guess what? Guess what? I definitely can because I ain't got no snitch card or no snitch jacket or none of that, no possible snitch, none of that. So yeah, it's a new day. Age ladies, we got to get to it. We can't let these men take over and have these false narratives, okay? Y'all just know Mickey True gonna always stand on business, especially my business. So you won't have to worry about that. Look, KG, we got look. I was sitting here thinking, and matter of fact, let me play this real quick because damn, where is it? Hold on. What phone is it in? Because Way 100 tried me, okay? And I was like, no, you did not. Cause hold on, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna let y'all hear it. Let me send it to myself. Hold on. Let me see if it's sent real quick. All right, all right, hold on, y'all. I'm about to play it. Oh shoot. Okay, there you go.
That shit. I'm leaving this message, so I'm trying to be discreet so don't nobody hear me. But I think you either scared of 1090 or you got something going on with him. How the fuck I put you in position to take his motherfucking spot? As soon as the spot get hot, motherfucker, you ain't turning up the flame. God damn it. I hope when you hear this motherfucking message, your ass get some sense in your head. It's go time, Mickey. Take them goddamn glasses off.
Ah, that shout out to Whack 100. He's funny. I don't know why he's like that, okay? But when I heard that, I was like, what? And like I said, when I checked my request and I saw it, and I really didn't know. Like people actually thought I was selective politicking with it, but you know, hey, gotta call a spade a spade. I had to realize I would have, definitely had done a video solo for other people. So here we are. This is a standalone video. Like I said, I'm not gonna talk about no other topic because this is the video for it. But yeah, I'm coming from my bag, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's a woman's world now. I'm sorry, okay? Y'all know what happened? Okay, let me make sure I say say it right. I don't want to sound crazy. Y'all know what happened, right? When one person is at the top and then something happens and then the next up comes and I feel like I'm next up, okay? So, the queen is on the throne and I am ready. I've been doing this thing, but I feel like now I'm definitely prepared to do whatever it is when it comes to this content to make sure it's still factual, okay? It's still gonna definitely be researched thoroughly, okay? It's still gonna be official, but I'm definitely gonna have to pop my collar a little bit because at this point, hey, we ain't got time because too many rappers I've been saying in these comments around on social media acting like just because 1090 Jake done took a L, like shit change. It doesn't. You still got that jacket on you if your paperwork came out and you still told now. And if y'all haven't paid attention, okay, too many people didn't catch 1090J doesn't even what it do, Gaddy? 1090J doesn't really even be dropping content like that. It's certain people that he will drop and it'll blow up because of course he has built some relationships, right? So he never really was an issue recently. Like really he wasn't the one out here doing it. Shout out. Now I will say this. Now 1090J was wrong as hell. Oh shit. Hold on, y'all. Hello? Hello? Oh, my bad, y'all. I thought I was waiting on a call from there. But so he shouldn't have said that about Raris and them. That was crazy. Okay. I'm just gonna say that was crazy. Definitely shouldn't have done that. However, okay, it's still a whole sector of people that's doing this work. And we're here to, get to the business because again, you got to stand on business, especially your business, and that's where we at. Um, hookah, what it do, hookah? So that's where I'm at with it, y'all. Like I said, the queen is taking the throne. Because y'all ain't gonna find no statements on me. Okay, so I'll tell y'all now, it's cap if they say it. And y'all know I don't mind doing a full length video in real time, going to get whatever to verify. Y'all already know it. I done took flights to cities, okay, um, to check on it. Okay, I'm just saying. Yeah, I didn't. I will say that Hookah. I did not like the fact that he put Chicago Rares like that because even if I don't know if they work there or he worked there or not, but even if he does, like that wasn't something to drop and it was a deflection. That was I'm glad you mentioned it. That it was a deflection of the situation. Like, why you bring other people in? And it goes back to the statement. That's what he was doing in his grievance. He was deflecting the fact that instead of, just taking your days in confinement, you try to get off by throwing the dude under the bus. Like, okay, if you want to get off, you should have just got off. You chose not to get off because the officer was there, okay? And it's just that. So yeah, that was bad. That was a bad look in that time. But nevertheless, like I said, Mickey Truth is here. I ain't going nowhere. I am gonna, like I said, I'm revamping some things because since the masses wants to know did this person snitch, this got to be the call I'm waiting on. Hold on, y'all. Why they playing on my phone though? Hello? Yes. That's not even the call I was waiting on. God damn it. I seen the Chicago area code. All right. So, like I said, I'm definitely gonna be here, okay? Um, and I'm about to turn it up a notch. Like I said, I really was just trying to stick to like the research, stick to the whole story, but I've been noticing, people do want to know if someone's a rat, if someone's a snitch or whatever. So, like I said, I'm gonna be doing content like that too. Um, hey, cause hey, if 1090J can make a million with statements, I know I can make a million with no statements. I'm just saying. And if I don't, that says a lot. But yeah, I done been on here long enough. I done popped my collar a little bit. And in closing, again, if your favorite rapper got exposed, okay, he's still a snitch. Let's just be clear. He's still a snitch. It doesn't take it bad. It doesn't change it. Um, However, those if you haven't been exposed, and y'all know I don't per se expose, but some may be exposed. But I'll also be the one, like I've been doing, that will show that you didn't tell. Okay, so I'm still the same, but I will be emphasizing the snitches part. Now, I will say this because for some reason, this Boston Richie situation has been floating around. Like I told y'all, I dropped Boston Richie video 2 days before 1090 Jake when I was a extremely small channel. He still told. It's no way around it. So don't deal with the deflection. He still told. Doesn't hurt him though, because again, he was just in my city a couple weeks ago. But he still told. I mean, we're not gonna run that narrative, okay? But with that being said, I'm about to get up off here. I will see y'all real soon. Um, so you know what, Philip? Well, before I go, I probably won't bring him on here. Because for one, I didn't understand what he was saying when he did go live with the person. And I don't even know, like, y'all know me and my algorithm. Mm-mm. I'm not really interested in it. Cause like at this point we already know where it's at. Um or whatnot. So yeah. But shout out to him for speaking out or whatever. Shout out to the people that dropped it. Shout out to shout out to everybody. Shout out to 1090J. He's Hollywood now anyway, so it's only a matter of time before he probably stop, with the content on YouTube anyway. But nevertheless, Mickey Truth will be here. And like I said, new intro coming this week. New intro video coming this week. Well, not this week. I think by the end of the month. But nevertheless, the song is coming. And again, hey, clip any audio. No smut on Mickey. No smut on Mickey. Okay, at all. So when Mickey say it, then I mean it. Okay. I'm gonna give y'all a line off my song just for y'all to know how it's gonna go. Nah, I ain't gonna tell you. All right, I'm about to go. I was about to say it, but y'all ain't about to pick at me. I gotta wait till I get on the music. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to pull up on your girl next time, and y'all go watch my previous videos. I'm about to edit the live from earlier so that y'all can hear my take on this whole O block corroborator theory. Okay. Oh, it's just so many. Okay. No smut for sure. All right, y'all. I'm out. Holla.